Yes, it's illegal news. Not necessarily news illegal, but news of illegal. I'm Jay Severin. You are the best and brightest. And in all seriousness, I have news for you on the biggest issue there is. In a moment, Marty Lamb, congressional candidate, someone for whom we can vote who can do something about it, actually in a position, place him in a position to do something about it. First, let me say this briefly. Upholding the law, preserving the rights of our citizens, stopping illegal immigration is the most important issue with the highest stakes in our lifetimes. Remember in the movie Patton, Daddy, what did you do in the Great War? Daddy, Mommy, where were you on whether we would protect our borders? Losing this issue, this ain't health care. This ain't crap and traitor. Losing this issue will be like losing a war when the invading army stays here. We've never had that feeling in America. That's what's at stake. And as such, we must choose. There is no in-between on this issue, as far as I'm concerned. And there's no wiggle room for politicians. Here is my pledge. I make this pledge to you. I will abandon forever and work against any politician who supports amnesty, citizenship, and the vote for criminal aliens. It will, starting now, be the first question I ask and the one that matters most. And I don't care whom it is. On this matter, there is no party loyalty. There is no friendship. There are no excuses. There is no exception. I choose. Anybody supporting immigration reform, quote unquote, instead of security is against me and my family and yours. We will never consider and debate an issue as important to the country and our children as this one. Not one as important as the country that we can be or the country we will forever cease to be. I have chosen. I beg you to join me in this. This is the most important issue we will ever face, in my view. I have a lot of updates for you on stuff that's happened, stuff you don't yet know about pertaining to illegal immigration. But first, I am proud to welcome back to our conversation, congressional candidate Marty Lamb. Marty, welcome back to 96.9.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you for having me on.
So that you, in fairness, if I've said something just now with which you disagree, you ought to have a chance to say so, and then happily maybe I'll learn that I said something with which you agree. Any comment?
My only comment is I agree with you 110%, Jay.
Well, and in that 110%, I read today that you have proposed an agenda, a plan for this. Tell us about it.
Yes, I have, Jay. At first, let me just make it clear to the listening audience that I am the grandchild of 4 immigrants.
As are we all.
Legal immigrants. In
Yes.
fact, my grandfather used to tell me stories when I was young about how he came over to this country as a land of opportunity. And he worked hard. He studied at night. He went to night school to learn English and citizenship. And he came here with proper papers.
And Marty, he came here not only at the invitation of the United States of America, but came here, I'll wager, not merely to be in America, but to become American.
That's exactly the point. He came here because he wanted to be an American. And so as the grandchild of immigrants, I need to differentiate between immigrant and illegal immigrant.
Indeed.
In fact, I was telling a friend of mine yesterday that I could have summarized my whole stand by saying, what in the word illegal don't you understand?
Exactly.
So,
and again, the notion that the determinant, the determinors of what will be the rules of entry into our country and residence here are not the citizens of this country, but citizens of another country.
That's correct.
Now, tell us about some of the, if you can, give us the bullet points. Tell us what the Marty Lamb proposal is in this respect.
Very briefly, just again so the audience knows, in Massachusetts, it's estimated there are 220,000 illegal immigrants. Currently, it's estimated that 50% of them hold jobs. And remember, our unemployment rate is at least 10%, if not higher, because Americans and legal residents, legal citizens, had stopped collecting unemployment. So take that into account. Number one, we need to stop the catch-and-release policy that is sweeping through immigration right now, where illegals are picked up, processed, and thrown back out on the street. That does nothing but waste taxpayer money. We need to secure our borders, authorize the United States military along the border to secure the borders. It's a national security issue, not just illegal immigration, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
We need to...
Which is never mentioned by, journalists on the job. You would think in an era of terrorism, Marty Lamb, that we give at least a tiny bit of consideration to who may be coming across the border, not just in what numbers. All those other things are vitally important, but the notion that any jihadist in the world who wants to get into the United States, why risk being caught at JFK or Logan?
Right, they can waltz across the border in Texas or Arizona.
The verb I was going to use exactly.
And even going beyond the terrorists, look at what's happening in South America between the FARC terrorists in Colombia getting drug money and weapons from Hugo Chavez,
yes,
who's in bed with Ahmadinejad. We don't have a secure border on ourselves.
Mexico does.
Mexico does, but if they get through Mexico, we don't have a secure
right.
border. Again, continuing with my points, we need to enforce laws that require employers to check and verify that the people working for them are legal.
Amen.
Again, unemployment. We have Americans, people who are here, legal immigrants, resident aliens that are here legally that are unemployed.
As my colleague and friend wrote the other day, Marjorie Egan, she wrote that as far as the old canard that illegals take only the jobs we won't do, when the ICE raid occurred here and there were X jobs open, there were lines of Americans, queuing up to take them.
If the only job available is an $8 an hour job, I guarantee there will be Americans knocking the door down to get that job. They want to support their family. They want to put food on their table. They want to work for a living if they can.
Tell us about your campaign. How are things going? What are the prospects? How does it look right now? How do you feel?
The campaign is going great, and I do have to do the shameless plug. My website, www.martyforcongress.com.
Is that F-O-R?
F-O-R.
martyforcongress.com.
There are links to Facebook and Twitter on the website. Today, I actually have virtually finalized all of my signature sheets into the state. I have enough certified plus raw signatures out there that I'm going to be well above and beyond the need for what is required by the state, and also taking into account that there could be a contest if my opponent, if Congressman McGovern decides to do any type of challenge. I'll have somebody above and beyond that just won't matter.
Marty, for people who may not know you, and it's early for a lot of people who don't, who have to work for a living and can't yet have the luxury of paying attention to politics every day, what are the general outlines or geographic perimeters of the district in which you seek this seat?
Okay, the district runs from north of Worcester. It runs from Holden, Clinton, Rutland, down through Worcester. Geographically follow the roads. Route 9 through straight down to Marlborough, goes south there, through a few towns, through Holliston, where I am, Medway, Franklin, goes down Route 495 through Rentham, Attleboro, North Attleboro, and all the way down to Fall River and a few small towns around there.
But in any case, if McGovern is the representative, if you know now that your representative is McGovern, yes, this is the seat you're seeking.
The 14-year incumbent, who, by the way, happens to have a 100% rating right now with immigration lawyers.
There's a list you don't want to be on. Marty Lamb, I thank you for appearing. We'll be happy to welcome you back. Thank you for your courage in lining up a plan like this. It is a moment to stand up and be counted.